Hi everybody, it's Grace. Welcome to Eating Peace this week. So I was just doing some thinking and reflecting this week because of getting certain questions from people, some of whom I work with one-on-one, about actual foods and what they should or should not be eating. And I thought I usually don't address that. My specialty, my area, is talking about eating peace. That is, coming to peace with the process of eating whatever foods are available to you, whatever kind of diet you're on, whatever your body actually needs or does not need. It's all an exploratory process, a learning process, and you're getting to know yourself extremely intimately over time. Sometimes there's many different ruminations of diet and food. You go to different countries and you have different kinds of foods available to you in those other countries. You don't even know what it's called, but it's food, and everyone in the world seems to need to eat it. So my focus and interest at the deepest level has always been the emotional aspect, the spiritual aspect of being in this strange circumstance where you have a physical body that apparently you need to take care of, and you take food, something from outside of you, and there's infinite choices, and you ingest it, you consume it, you become one with it. You're connecting with the greater universe in a way through this process of eating. Sometimes, of course, the desperation and the pain involved in eating is extreme, especially when you feel like you cannot stop. You are binging and you're eating and eating and eating, and the body is saying, I'm done. Maybe it said, I'm done long ago, many, many minutes ago, hours ago. And here you are, you're still eating. So you know that there's some emotional component, there's some sort of strange, off-kilter reason why you're eating that has nothing to do with actually being physically hungry. In the Buddhist tradition, they call this the hungry ghost. And there's a picture sometimes of, there's drawings I've seen of the hungry ghost where there's a ghost-like figure with a mouth, and it's eating and eating, and it's going right into thin air. There's no body, and it's like you can never ever feel satiated, never really comfortable, never just totally at peace with what's been consumed, and like you're ready to stop. So that's what I am most deeply interested in. It's very, very painful, and it comes in all forms, not just food and eating, this kind of craving. I mean, people have, it's addiction of every kind. Really, ultimately, there is addictive thinking processes, sort of like the experience of thinking and wanting and feeling incredible lack, feeling panic or sadness, feeling desperation or depression about what's going on between you and reality in any particular given moment. But having said all that, it is interesting that I've had some conversations with people this week, and even came across an old piece of, an old article that I'd read long ago about the actual foods that you do choose. Now normally, at least in my culture in the United States here, when you have a food and eating problem, probably the first step towards, I'm going to go solve that problem, is really at the physical level. That's why there are 1,000 diet books, and there's nutritionists and dietitians who can help, and people who study brain chemistry and food, and there's an incredible amount of information. The thing is, if you only address that, that's what I was doing at the beginning. Sort of like my little obsessive addictive mind was, 20-year-old mind was beginning to study nutrition and calories and what should or shouldn't be happening. It all had sort of like this underlying emotional component too that I didn't even see. So it wasn't like a simple scientific study. It had way too much weird cosmic, emotional lack energy hanging behind it. But having said that, there is something to studying the nutrition. If everyone knows, if you eat a vegetable that's just been grown in the ground and you wash off in the sink and you take a bite of that, versus a candy bar, you're going to have two different chemical reactions in the body. So there is something to being gentle with yourself and gentle with your body by finding some sort of food plan or structure or set of foods that you study and find out what works for you uniquely. You can calm yourself down by picking foods that are more gentle for your system and don't like strike a match to fire. If you don't sort of suddenly indulge in a lot of sugar, which kind of has a strong drug-like reaction to some people's brains, you can actually maybe help yourself by, you can relax, you can be more gentle with the process. It doesn't mean you don't experiment or however life works for you relating to food, but you can find a lot of peace in actually spending time and maybe hiring a consultant or finding a food plan that is really sweet and gentle and restful for you. Having the structure and just following it can sometimes be such a relief. So don't deny yourself that, even if you are completely and fully exploring the emotional aspect of life with food and the spiritual meaning behind eating, which is so powerful and so beautiful. I just want to say today, don't deny yourself having like a calmer brain chemistry if that's what it would take. If you find yourself that you've been eating only sugar for days and days and days, maybe stop, relax, have some, whatever they're calling protein, get your system a little more smoothed out physically so that you can actually rest well, rest in the body, take care of yourself, and it might help your emotions actually calm down. It all works together. So I am never anti finding interest in food plans or nutrition that works for you. It's just starting there. I became an expert and still couldn't hold on to anything because I had so much emotionally and spiritually going on that was so disrupted that I needed to gather that together really first. I had to get this basic core connected feeling of love. And I encourage you to find that in any way you can possibly do it. The most beautiful way is through people, other human beings. You find that love by being in support groups, by finding a mentor or a therapist, by meditating and being in maybe a Sangha group or a study group of some kind at a religious organization or institution or a spiritual study group of some kind. Connect with others. Find that love and support. And then you can keep moving as you explore your relationship with food and eating and making that very, very loving as well. All right. Let me know how it goes, everybody. Take good care. Bye-bye.